Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. So in recent videos, I mentioned maybe a couple of times that I'm not adding to my investments in REITs because in the current environment, there's very little incentive for me to increase my investments in REITs. Right, when DBS, OCBC, and UOB are able to offer me the returns that they offer. You're talking about a 6% dividend yield, about 6% dividend yield. In the case of DBS, maybe even closer to 7%, taking the bonus issue into account. And that is when they only pay out a fraction of their earnings and retaining, 40 to 50% of their earnings. So having retained earnings, they grow even more valuable over time. Yes, I said all those things in a couple of recent videos, but I didn't say avoid or do not invest in REITs. Because I think some people got a bit flustered, or maybe some might even have gotten a bit frightened. I mean, if I am absolutely negative about REITs, and think that they are going the way of the dodos, then I would have sold everything, all my investment in REITs. But I think some people look at how I sold a significant portion of my investment in Sabana REIT and drew their own conclusions. Right? No, I mean, Sabana REIT is an isolated case, right? So I like to remind myself and anyone who might be eavesdropping on me of what Peter Lynch said, right? And that's all investments are good investments at the right price, right? So that also means that, investments are good investments when the circumstances are right. Okay, so I got into REITs in a big way during the global financial crisis. I think regular readers, long-time readers would know this. And some of those REITs I'm still holding on today, like, AIMS APAC REIT, right? In those days, it was called AIMS AMP Capital Industrial REIT. And when I got in, it was a double-digit yield, right? Probably like 12-13%. I can't remember exactly. I mean, there were many cases of like that. I mean, like when I got into first REIT in a big way back then, I think the yield was 17%. And when I got into Lippo Maple Tree Industrial, Lippo Maple Tree Commercial Trust, now they call Lippo Malls Trust, because Maple Tree got out of it early, clever people, right? When I got in, it was like 18.5 cents per unit, and then the yield was like 25% per annum. It's amazing, right? It was very rewarding, and then I saw a big chunk of it a few years later at 40 plus cents. I think even as high as 50 cents per unit. I saw a big chunk of it, more than half of it, and got back my capital and more. At that time, I got out of it because I was unimpressed with the CEO. I didn't like what the CEO was doing. The CEO was hedging 100% of the distributable income Indonesian rupiah to Sing dollar, and it was very expensive hedge. I didn't like it because the rupiah was strengthening and we were losing out. I think it went on for a couple of years, but I basically didn't like what the CEO was doing. I didn't have full confidence in her. So I sold a big chunk of it. Thanks to her, I sold a big chunk of it. I made quite a bit of money there. So from those examples, you can tell, I mean, then of course there's Saizen REIT, which is a classic in my case. From those examples, you can tell, that when the time is right, you invest. Right, they were very rewarding investments, REITs back then. Right, Saizen REIT was absolutely undervalued, and it was hammered during the global financial crisis. right? Because it was a credit crisis and they had no access to credit. It was hammered. Of course, people who bought during IPO will have suffered a lot, but I didn't buy during IPO. So when the prices are right, REITs make good investments. Circumstances were benign. They're good for REITs. So it's not avoid REITs no matter what. It's just that right now they don't seem to be as attractive an investment, right? Compared to DBS, OCBC, and UOB. Right. So that's why I thought I want to clarify that. Then there's also the bit about Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin some time ago, a few years ago, when the prices when the price crashed, right? And then people were wondering, why did I buy Bitcoin? It isn't AK against Bitcoin and all that kind of thing. Then I said, I changed my mind because I look at Bitcoin like digital gold, and since I'm holding some gold and silver, physical gold and silver, why don't hold some digital gold as well, which is Bitcoin, right? And blog about it. So I think I'll leave a link in the description box below in case you want to read about why I decided to buy some Bitcoin, and because Bitcoin, there's no fundamentals, there's no way to value it, there's no valuation of Bitcoin that makes sense. So I just use the charts, technical analysis to tell me when might be a good time to buy. So I bought Bitcoin when the prices were when the price was low and going down, and I've held on to it, and now apparently it has more than doubled. But I'm not selling it. Like I say, Bitcoin is not an investment to me. And I've explained why it's not an investment before. I mean, you can trade Bitcoin. If you think of it as a digital currency, you can trade currencies, but you can't invest in currencies. So you can trade Bitcoin like you would trade any other currency pairs. But I look at it as insurance, right? Not investment, not trading. So it's like gold and silver, they are insurance. Right? Insurance against very flawed fiat currencies. Right, and I blog about that before as well. So basically, when the price is right, you buy, right? Based on fundamental analysis, based on technical analysis, whatever analysis you use, you think the price is right, you buy. That's how we buy stuff. It should be the case. Is as we want to buy socks and underwear, we wait for a sale and buy them at half price, that kind of stuff. So in the case of Sabana REIT, I said why so was because the internalization process seems to be a bit bumpy, and an activist investor actually wrote to me in my blog, and I want to share with you what he said and what's my response, right? For those of you who are interested in internalizing managers for REITs, okay? It says, "Hi AK, we have been followers of your blog for a long time. We really like your articles and appreciate your views and share a lot of your views on some of SGX companies and REITs. Thank you for your article on Sabana REIT." I think he was referring to my article where I said I saw a significant portion of my investment in the REIT. Okay, and he's from activist investor Quartz. And it says, Quartz is part of Sabana Growth Internalization Committee, which is supporting the internalization process of the REIT. We would like to ask if we could meet up for kopi and chat at your convenience on our views of the internalization process, the remaining items to be done, and why it is critically important that the process succeeds for the entire REIT sector and all REIT investors. So this is not just important for Sabana REIT. It's important for the entire Singapore REIT sector. That's what the activist investor is saying, right? And if internalization does not succeed, perhaps all unit holders should rethink their investment in this sector given the negative precedents. Many thanks again, and we really appreciate your great work and have a great week ahead. Kind regards, Harvard. Yeah, so basically saying that if the Sabana REIT internalization process should fail, then the entire Singapore REIT sector might be uninvestable. That's the impression I get. And to a certain degree, to a certain extent, I can agree with that and see what he's saying, right? But here's my response. I say, hi, Harvard. Thank you for reaching out to me. I want to say first and foremost that I believe in what folks like you are doing for Sabana REIT, and why it is a step in the right direction, not just for the REIT, but for the whole sector. Having internal managers for REITs makes a lot of sense. In the case of Croesus Retail Trust many years ago, we saw cost savings, greater alignment of interest, and unlocking of value. So of course, long-time readers of my blog will know this, right? Because I blog about this, and I had a big investment in Croesus Retail Trust, and when they were privatized, finally, I did make quite a bit of money. And of course, before that, I was being paid like 8-9% per annum in distribution yield. It was a fantastic investment, or maybe even 10% at some point. All right. So anyway, I said, as for me, I'm just a simple retail investor who wants to enjoy a peaceful retirement. So thank you for your kind invitation, but I am declining. Right. When invited, I didn't take part in the Saving Sabana REIT movement many years ago as well. So some of you might remember there was this Save Sabana REIT movement many years ago when the old CEO was still around, the Chinese guy who became a Muslim, remember, and how he proposed to buy some buildings at inflated valuation, that kind of thing, from the sponsor, right? So there was, I didn't take part in the movement as well, even though I was invited, right? Why? Why? I think those of you who have been following me a long time would know that AK is lazy. You know, AK goes for low-hanging fruits. AK doesn't like climbing trees to get fruits. It's an awful lot of work. And of course, I might fall down, I might break a leg and hurt myself, that kind of thing, right? So I'm just being lazy. I'm a lazy investor. I go for low-hanging fruits. I don't like to have to put in too much work, right? Anyway, I told Harvard from Quartz that I hope the internalization succeeds. That's for sure. And with best wishes, AK. Right. So I think this video has gone on a lot longer than I thought. But in a nutshell, I'm not saying avoid REITs at all costs, right? And all investments are good investments at the right price, right? And I want peace of mind when I invest. And the reason why I got out of Sabana REIT was it wasn't giving me peace of mind, right? So do our own due diligence. Don't ride on someone else's coattails, or else you get flustered when you see someone else doing something that we think that he shouldn't be doing or that he won't be doing, right? So if AK can talk to himself, so can you. Bye-bye.